Conflicts with Yenny, a channel where you keep updating your skills to meet up with the real life experience. Please, if this is your first time on my channel, kindly do me a favor by hitting the subscribe button. And those of us who are already part of the family, oh, super thank you. You mean so much to me. Please, please, please do well to subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. It means so much to me. Besides, I'm new, so please, please, please do well to subscribe to my channel. It means so much deep down here. So welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about something really, really important. We talk about corporate environments, we talk about how to dress to work, we talk about how to blend job. This is very, very important. Straight to the point, we're going to be talking about how to resolve conflicts in a corporate environment and stay healthy in a toxic environment. We all know that it is important to work to enable you earn income and meet your needs, your financial needs. And knowing that each time you leave the house, you have the opportunity to meet people from different angles, from different religion, different belief, different expectation. And so people's expectations are not the same. People's ideologies are not the same. And workplace conflicts is almost inevitable. Corporate environment on its own is a little bit hectic, coupled with different expectations and how to you have to be able to work with different people. So today we're going to be talking about some of the things. I'm going to be giving you tips on how you can work in a conflict in a toxic environment, or how you can resolve conflicts in a corporate environment. Why is this important? It is important because, of course, your job is important, right? You don't have to leave your job because of one trouble or the other. Of course, you need to keep your job. So it is good to resolve whatever conflict it is and move on with your job. After all, everybody is there to work and earn income. So why would you have to leave your job for someone else? So let's go straight to the point. Number one, it is important to understand that people's expectations are different. People's mindsets are different. The way you reason may not be the exact way the second person reasons. So it is important to have this in mind while you're working with your colleagues. You agree with me that conflict is almost inevitable in a work environment. And it is important for us to work, right? It is important for us to work, even if you are a business owner. It is important to pay attention to this, because once you leave your house as an individual, there is every tendency that you're going to meet people with different ideologies, people with different expectations, different people with different mindset, people from different ethnic groups. And so our way of understanding and communication might differ. So how do we work with people from different angles without having to either quit or fail to achieve our objective? Of course, we all know that in a conflict environment, we usually tend to be less productive. So straight to the point, today I'm going to be giving us tips. I'm going to be talking about tips on how to resolve conflict and how to stay healthy in the toxic corporate environment. It is important for us to work. And so, because it is important for us to work, it is it's not the best option for us to leave our jobs for another person, or probably leave our jobs because of the toxic environment. So in order for us to stay at work and get and still earn our income, that is why I am here, because of my experience. So let's go direct to it. First, we have to understand why we have conflicts in the first place. We can agree, you can agree with me that conflicts don't just come. There are reasons, or there are certain things that brings about conflicts. If you have a cultural opinion, we can talk about that. I would like to hear your opinion. I would like to see your opinion on the comment section. Sometimes conflicts can be caused by pride, people's ego, lack of communication. It can be because of compensation issue, or it could just be that some persons are just having a bad day, some mood swings, and it happens that we find ourselves, with that person at that time. So, how to approach all of things like this when in a situation where you find yourself either in a conflict environment, in a conflict or in either in a conflict or in a toxic work environment. First is approach things with open mind. You should approach things with open mind because sometimes these things happen because of lack of communication. So if we communicate our view effectively, if we're able to communicate our views effectively, sometimes you might be able to see the different perspective of what the other person is saying. So approach things with an open mind. Even if the your team person or the other opponent fails to communicate, take the step and communicate. Communicate your view, communicate your concern, communicate your opinion, communicate. It is important to communicate. Let the number two step after communicating is controlling your emotion. Be completely in charge of your emotion. I call it intelligence. Why? Being intelligent for me means being able to control your mind. The ability to control your mind without allowing the influence of the environment to control you. Like I earlier mentioned, once you leave your house, you're prone to meet people with different expectations. So, in order to manage these expectations, you have to be in control of your emotion. Control your emotions such that you can be focused. You will be able to analyze things objectively without putting in your emotions first. A typical example is some persons who, once it is time for blames and taking responsibilities, you see them begin to shed tears.
You know, being able to control your emotion makes you a superstar. In a scenario where people are all shouting, people are all not listening, people are all jumping from one place to the other because they are unable to control your emotions. When you're in charge of your emotion, you're calm, you're able to listen, you're able to analyze objectively, you're able to wave out personal interest, ego, pride. This is a virtue that should never be traded. So be in control of your emotion.
The blame game is never the best way of is never the best way of approaching conflict or helping you stay healthy in a toxic environment. Be able to analyze things objectively, air out your view, be focused, be able to pay attention to what is relevant and not begin to shed tears or begin to react. You don't react. One who is intelligent doesn't react. One who is intelligent analyzes things, articulates things objectively. You're able to put to join one head to the other to come up with a result. Another thing that can help us resolve conflict and stay healthy in a toxic work environment is not assuming. Stop assuming. You know, sometimes there is this thing we do that once one says a thing, you begin to you begin to think. You begin to think immediately and then you assume. Give it some time. Do not assume. Understand the person. Be able to understand the person very well and then rephrase it. When you're able to understand your colleague or understand what the other person is saying, then you rephrase it. With that, you will be able to come up with your view. You will be able to communicate your view effectively. Another thing that can help us resolve conflict and stay healthy in a toxic work environment is approaching things with a positive mind. Be positive at all times. Begin to approach things with a positive mind. There is a saying that at the end of a tunnel there is light, right? And a coin has the head and has the other side. So it is important that you approach things with a positive mind. If you see this way to be negative, flip it up to this other side. See the positive aspect of it. So look at things from the positive aspect. For every conflict you find yourself, or for every situation you find yourself, look out for a learning opportunity. Look out for a learning opportunity. See it as an opportunity to learn, as an opportunity to step up, as an opportunity to scale up, as an opportunity to impact, as an opportunity to make a difference, as an opportunity to shine. So look at the positive aspects of every conflict or every environment you find yourself. No matter what it looks like, there is always a positive aspect to life. Another thing that can help you stay healthy or help you resolve conflicts in a work environment is being aware. It is important to be aware, be acquainted with your environment. Be aware, be attentive, be sensitive. Be sensitive to understand your environment. Be sensitive to understand your colleagues' temperament. Be sensitive to understand the times there are. Be sensitive to understand your own time. Be sensitive to the environment. Being sensitive will help you know when to approach your colleague for a particular thing and when not to approach your colleague for a particular thing. Another thing that can help you stay healthy and resolve conflicts in a corporate environment or in a toxic environment is judging your colleagues fairly. What I mean by judging your colleagues or the next person fairly is making excuses. I'm not saying that when things are wrong, they shouldn't be treated as things that are wrong. But make excuses, make positive excuses for people. Make positive excuses for people. Give room to people to change. Make positive excuses. Do not judge people harshly. There are people who I call people with a tender heart. They are unable to manage their emotions. So those kind of people, you try to judge them. You try to judge them with, you don't judge them harshly, because maybe it is not even in their in it, they are unable to control their emotions at that time, and maybe in their clothes they are even crying or trying to see how they can be able to control